This is our first lesson inside of Business Office Specialist, and we are going to be learning how to use Microsoft Word, the basics. So to get started inside the page, go ahead and click on Starting Word. It's going to start to download it on the bottom left-hand corner. Go ahead and click on the left document file in the bottom left-hand corner to get the Microsoft Word document to open. Once it has opened, go ahead on the top and you're going to see this protected view button. Always just hit enable editing whenever you see that ever come up on any of these Microsoft programs that we are going to be using in this class. And we are going to be getting started with some basic steps of how to use Microsoft Word. So Microsoft Word is a document we use to process Word. That's why it's a word processing document. So we use it to process words. So to get started, we're going to learn some of the basics. On the top, we have these things called ribbons. You also might refer to them as tabs. And inside of these tabs, we have different buttons with different functions. We're going to get started with the basic home functions. So first of all, in the instructions, it's going to tell you that we're going to be learning how to do all of these things. So for instance, font face, we're going to change the font face to this, to what it says to do. A font face are these right here, these different types of theme fonts. So we're going to change this one to Times New Roman because that's what the instruction says. Change this line to Times New Roman. So I'm going to go ahead and go down to the T's. It is in ABC order. You click on Times New Roman. The next one, font size. So I'm going to grab this one and do the font size to 14. The next one, the alignment, I'm going to change the alignment to the right. These are the alignments: align left, align center, align to the right, and justify. We'll learn about justify later. It spreads it out. But for now, we're just going to align to the right. Okay, margins. Change the document to moderate. Now, this isn't to just this line because it's to the whole document. So to change the margins, we're actually going to go into another ribbon called the layout ribbon. And then inside the layout ribbon, you can see this box with the drop down called margins. And I want to change the margins to this one that is called moderate. So we have default names, or I could go and customize and make my own one. But I'm going to click it to moderate. And it made it so the left and right were a little smaller on the margins. All right, page orientation. Same thing in layout. We have two different types of orientation: portrait and landscape. What orientation are we in right now? Well, if you come to the bottom right-hand corner, you see that I'm zoomed in at 100%. So I'm going to zoom out a little so I can see a little better. And from here, you can see we're in the, that's right, portrait. So here I'm just going to type in portrait. And then inside this little box, I can type in portrait. All right, text color. Change this line to your favorite color. So I'm going to highlight this, and then to get to text color, I go back to the Home tab, and we have some colors. This one, if you hover your mouse over it, tells you what it does. This is text effects and typography. This one is text highlight color, which is the one I want, and then this one is the font color. So we want the text color of the box around it? No, actually, we want the text color of the actual text. So I'm going to change it to green just to make sure you can see the change. All right, theme. Change document to badge theme. Theme is also in the layout. So you're understanding a bit about the home and the layout, their main documents main ribbons we're going to be using. And then we also have the design one is the next one we're going to be using. And the design is the design of the document, and we're going to be using the watermark, page color, page borders in a minute. But let's get to themes. Theme is like what the whole document looks like. So you can see things are changing. Changes the font style, the font size, the colors according to the theme I choose. So I'm going to do the theme of badge. Let's look for badge. We can scroll down and look for more. And there it is. Missed it. There's badge. Okay, perfect. Page color. Remember, we're doing this in design now. Change the document to your choice. So here we have our page color. Let's change it to a color so we can tell it's been changed. I'll go with a light blue or teal. Okay, done that one. Now apply a page border of your choice. So here's page border. Just you have different options of 3D, shadow, box. I'm just going to grab a simple box here. You can change what type of border it is. You could change the color of it, like we can make it that color and how thick it is. Or you could even go with art. So I'm actually going to go with some art instead. And we'll go with this one. All right. Ooh, I actually do not like that one. So just to show you, you can change this really quickly back and forth to different ones. And I'll go with the Christmas tree because it's Christmas time. And then I am going to turn the width down. So you see how I can control that width if it's too thick. Okay, perfect. All right, next one. Apply the do not copy watermark to this page. So here's the watermarks. Watermarks make it so we're going to do not copy. So now if someone was trying to steal my document, like using the snipping tool, they couldn't because the do not copy is over it. So it saves documents so people can't copy them and basically makes it ugly if someone did try to copy it. All right, last step on part 1. Insert a hyperlink to your favorite web page. So for this step, you do need to get on the internet, pull up a browser. I'm going to pull up a browser and I'll just go to espn.com. It's not necessarily my favorite page, but it's just an easy one. Then I'm going to hit Control C, or I can right click and hit copy to get it saved to my clipboard. And then I'm going to insert a hyperlink. So how do we insert a hyperlink? Well, you see that up here on the ribbon, insert. It's probably a key button that we're going to be using. And then in the insert tab, you can see the link button. So I'm going to hit link. And then right here, I have different options. Existing web page, a place in a document. We're going to be doing an existing web page. So I'm just going to go ahead and under the address, paste what I had copied and then hit OK. And now we have a link there and I could click on this and get it to open up that page for me. Okay, moving on to our next step. Now that we've gone over some of the basics on the home, insert, design, and layout. Part 2, we're going to get in a little more depth and we're going to learn about some of the vocabulary of the page. So here you need to take 6 images of parts of the page. So you're going to need the snipping tool. So come to the bottom left of your screen, click on the start menu, start to type snipping, and then the snipping tool up here. Go ahead and open that up. And then the first one is I'm going to take a picture of the title bar once my snipping tool's up. Here it goes. So the title bar is up here. Like here's the title. The title bar is what I use to drag and move the document around. So whenever you click on the title bar, you're clicking on the title bar to move the document around. So I'm going to maximize it again. Open up the snipping tool. Hit new. And then I'm going to take a screenshot of the title bar right there. And then once I have it, I'm going to right click, hit copy, and then come into this box. And actually, we are going to need to save this. I think, yes, I want you to go about it this way. So go ahead and right click and save it. And then I'm just going to be putting it in. I'm going to go find my Strand, my Google Drive, my Drive, my Business Office Specialist folder, and then here's my Word folder. I'm just going to call it title. We'll start saving them all in here. Title bar. Okay. And then once I get that, I am going to go to this button, click on it, and then I'll double click on it, and then I'm going to say from file, and then I'm going to go to that exact same Google Drive, my Drive, Business Office Specialist, Word, and then here it is. I can go and click on it and it will put it in there for me. So I'm going to do this a few more times. Just make sure you guys know what all these are. So now we have the quick access toolbar. That's right here. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Quick, I'll call it. Now I'm going to do the next one, which is called a ribbon. I can just choose any of your ribbons. Remember I told you these are ribbons, so just highlight some of the ribbons there. I didn't do a good job, so I'm going to hit new again. These are ribbons. You can do 1, 2, I don't care how many, just get a ribbon in there, and I'm going to call it ribbon. Number 4 is the page setup group. So inside of different pages, I'm actually going to escape. Inside of these different ribbons, you have different sections. Like this is a group right here. This is a group. So I need to go and find the page setup group. Inside the home tab, are any of them called page setup? Nope. How about the insert? Nope. How about the design? Nope. Layout. See, in the layout, this is called the page setup box. Here's the paragraph box. So we need a picture of the page setup. So it's inside your layout ribbon. So I'm going to grab back my snipping tool, hit new, take a picture of the page setup box, and got it. Page setup box. 2 more to go. The font group dialog box. So I need to find the font group. So inside of the home tab, here's the font group. And then this thing is called the dialog box. Basically, there's quite a few options in here, but there's even more options. And I click on this box to get into even more options of things I can do inside of the font section. So I'm going to open up my snipping tool, hit new. I'm just going to take a picture of the font dialog pop-out box, which you can see right there. So now I'll hit save, and I'll call it dialog box, and I'm looking there how to spell if you don't know how to spell it. And then the last one is the ruler. And you don't see a ruler yet, but we can have a ruler out to measure my document. And to get your ruler to show, you actually need to come into your view button. And from your view button, or your view ribbon, then you can click on ruler, and a ruler will appear so you can see your margins better. So here we go. I'm going to grab my new snipping tool and take a picture of that ruler as evidence I found the ruler, and then go ahead and save this as ruler. Now that I got all 6 saved, I can go ahead and close out the snipping tool. And then on this assignment, I can keep adding these pictures. So remember, just click on these boxes, double click on the boxes, and then it'll prompt you to put an image in it. So for instance, I'm going to go do the page setup group. Oh, it's not prompting me. So if it doesn't prompt you, that's good. I like to see these errors so I can show you what to do. If it doesn't prompt you, then we're going to go to the insert ribbon, and we're going to hit picture, and then you're going to go and find your folder. And then this one's going to be the quick access. So right there, I'm going to go ahead and insert it right there in that spot. So again, I will click on ribbon, go to insert, then I'll go to picture, and then I'll grab the next one, the ribbon right there. So just go ahead and add all those in. For time's sake, I'm going to move us along. After you finished adding all those images in, we're on to part 3. We're going to learn how to work with pictures now. So I am going to use the online picture. So here's insert. I just showed you how to use pictures. Now we're going to use online picture. I'm going to use online picture. I'm going to find a picture of a Willow Creek Wolverine, or just a Wolverine. I don't care what Wolverine you grab, just grab any Wolverine. Here's a good Wolverine. We'll add that one in. Now, once I put the picture in, he is all messed up, not where I want him. So let's look at some steps. And the first one is I need to change the height of the picture to 2.5. So I want you to notice on the top, on these ribbons, these are my main ribbons, but then I have these 2 new ribbons that appeared when I'm clicked on the picture. So if I click off the picture, they're gone. Watch what happens when I click on the picture, they appear. So these ribbons are just for formatting this picture. So inside of here, I'm not going to be working with this one unless I want to, well, I will in a bit, but right now I'm not going to be working with that one yet. I'm going to be working more with the picture tools. So the first step was to change the height, and if you look on the right-hand side, here's where I changed the height. I needed to change the height to 2.5 inches high, so 2.5, and when I do that, the width will automatically adjust. So 2.5, and if it doesn't like it, it'll automatically adjust to a good proportion that it thinks is good enough. So that's good enough, 2.49. Now, I'm going to change the text wrapping to tight, and this is the most important part, because if I grab this image and try to move it, it won't move it for me, unless I text wrap it. To text wrap the image, I'm clicked on the image, and I'm going to go up to the Format tab of the image, and I'm going to find this Wrap Text button. I'm going to drop down, and I have all these options of how it's going to wrap around text inside my image. So I'm going to go with tight. When I hit tight, it makes it so I can grab my image and move it and put it wherever I want. So now that it's tight, I can get it to the right section and get it down here. Okay, perfect. All right, we're still not done. Number 4, add a red border to the image. So where could I get a border? Let's try picture border. And then I'm going to give it a red one. And if you can't see it that well, we could change the weight to like 3. And then after I change it to 3, then I could give it a color of red. So again, I went to picture border, changed the color, and then I changed the weight so you could see it better. And I'll change it again. Now it's 6. Okay, next one. Change the color to black and white. Ooh, so we're going to change the actual color of the picture. So on the Format tab again, I'm going to go to the Color button and choose one that looks like it's black and white. And this is kind of up to you. There we go, black and white 25. I'll go this one, black and white 25. And now, number 6, use the anchor, this thing's called the anchor right here, to rotate the image 325 degrees. Well, I'm rotating it, but how do I know when it's at 325 degrees? For this step, we actually have to come up and go to the second Drawing Tools Format button. And then inside there, we have Rotate. So I can actually drop down and say More Rotate Options and tell it to make it the exact rotation I want. So here's my height, width, rotation, and this is where I'm going to make it, what was it? 325. So I'm trying to make it so you can see everything. Then I'm blocking other stuff. So I hit 325, And now I'm going to hit OK, and now it's going to rotate at 325 degrees. And now I'm going to place the image to the left of these instructions. So to the left would be over here. And I'm going to have it right there. I actually don't like how it's impeding on number 4. So I'm fine with you resizing it down so it doesn't mess with part 4 like I'm going to do right there. Okay, perfect. Now we're on to the last portion, part 4. Inside of part 4, we're going to work a little with the spelling and grammar. So first of all, we're going to highlight this whole paragraph and justify. Remember at the beginning I told you on the Home tab we have left alignment, center alignment, right alignment, and this is justify. Justify spreads it all out to the ends. It takes the whole sentence and tries to spread it to the end. If you look how it was, look how at this end it's not justified or equaled. We're going to make it justify so it equals it all the way to the end for that sentence. Okay, next one. Use the spelling and grammar tool to correct errors. So in the Home tab over here, we have the Find and Replace. I'm going to click on Replace, which would help us do the spelling. Here's one way to do it, actually. I'll show you both ways. For instance, let's say I see classroom spelled wrong. Click on Replace, and then I'll type in how it's spelled, classroom, and then I'll say replace it with the correct spelling, which is like that. And I could say replace it, and it will find it and replace it. You can see it's replacing it. Perfect. But we're going to do this another way. We're not going to just find one specific word. We're going to find every misspelled word in the document. So to do this, we're going to go to the Review ribbon. And inside of the Review ribbon, you have Spelling and Grammar. Go ahead and click on Spelling and Grammar, and then it's going to go through and find the errors and give options of what it thinks you should change it to. And you just click on that option, and it will change it for you. So I'm just going to go through Spelling bee, writing, let's, bet. Oh, it doesn't even give me an option here. So if it doesn't give you the option, you can actually come here and click on it and type better. I'm surprised I didn't find that one. Then I can resume. On your, see, it's not getting some of these. It doesn't know what it was. So some of you have to, if you don't find it, go type it in. And then projects, favorite, we might try. And look, it didn't find might because might is also like a little bug, but that's the incorrect might. So see, it doesn't catch everything. That's why it's always good to always proofread and not just think spelling or grammar is going to get everything for you. And then told, and now I know, and capital I and capital I. Perfect. And it's going to keep going through the document, but that's all we need to do is this paragraph. So when we're done, I'll just go ahead and hit this button right there. And I'm going to make sure to put a period in there too, since that's missing it. All right, now we know how to use the spelling and grammar. Number 4, use the thesaurus tool to find 2 synonyms and 1 antonym for the word great. So right here, I'm going to highlight the word great, and then I'm going to come to the thesaurus tool, and it's going to tell me different words that mean great. So I could put in countless and boundless because I'm seeing those from the list. Now, if I was to click on these, it would actually change the word here. So I don't want to click on it and change my word. All right, let's find an antonym. So again, here's my word. Type it in again. Great. Typed it up there. And it has a bunch of synonyms, but let's find an antonym for the word great. And it's not bringing up the same one we had, so I'm going to hit thesaurus. There we go. Just capitalize them for me. Actually, it's the same words. But I'm looking for this on the side, antonym. Antonym, and that's when it's an antonym. Antonym means opposite. Thesaurus means similar word. Antonym means an opposite word, so small. Okay, perfect. We're done with this. Go ahead and close that out. Now we're on to how to use the Format Painter. I love the Format Painter. We're going to learn how to use this in all of our programs you learn in this class. So I'm going to go to the Home tab, and this is what the Format Painter does. On line number 6, let's say I want it to look exactly like this one with the same formatting, same color, same border, same font, same size, same everything. Instead of trying to goof around and pick all these options and match it up, what I can do is just highlight something from the format I like, come over to the Home tab and find this button called Format Painter and click it once. Now I've clicked it once. The next thing that I see how my cursor turned into a paintbrush. The next thing I highlight is going to copy that format. So I'm going to highlight all this, and then when I let go of my mouse, it copies all that format. Beautiful. All right, number 7, create the following header and footer. So a header and footer is what goes at the top and the bottom of the documents, because right now I've been working in the body, so let's put something in the footer and in the header on the top and bottom margins. To do this, I'm going to go into the Insert tab, and then from there I'm going to find Header, and I'm just going to choose, what one do they want? They want a 3 header, so 3 headers, so I can get those 3 things into my header. I'm going to choose the 3 columns, and then in the header, what am I going to type? I am going to put the class period. I'm going to give it the name of Unit 1 project and then my full name. So let's say the class period is A1. The project is called what? Unit 1 project. And then on the right, I'm going to put my full name. So on this one, we're going to call it Unit 1 project. And then over here, my full name. Perfect. Now in the footer, what are we doing? Because if I scroll to the bottom, you can see we have a footer as well. In the footer, I'm just going to insert a page number style of my choice. So to do this, I'm going to I could click down here and type, but I'm going to go up to the page number. Here I can access things to put in the footer. I'm going to go to the page number. It says just do a bottom page number of your choice. We'll go with that one. And that'll put in page numbers for us. Perfect. Now, you'll notice that the body kind of faded away as I work in the header and the footer. So I can't get back to the body unless what? Because I'm clicking and it's not working. So you actually have to double click to get in and out. So if I want to get back into the header footer, I can double click and it'll take me back in, or I can double click to get back out. Another thing you'll notice is if I double click to get back in, here's this close header and footer button. You can also choose to get out and then start working in the body again, which I want to do now. So now, number 12, change the document property titles to Strand 1 project. I'm going to copy this, Strand 1 project, copy it. And then I'm going to come to the File button. In the File button, we have all these document properties. So I'm going to change the property size page words. I want to change its title right here. So I'm going to paste that text in there to Strand 1 project. Now I can click away and it saves it. Now it gives it a title name and my properties of the document. Perfect. This is also, just so you know, you can see who's the author of the documents right here. That way, if you steal a document from somebody, you can go see who the real author is by looking in the properties. All right, next one. Protect document with a password. So I'm going to go back to File, and then we're going to give it a password. So I'm going to hit Protect Document, and we have different options. I'm going to say encrypt with a password, and then I better remember my password. So I'm going to type it in as Blake with a capital B, so I don't forget. Don't forget whatever your password is, and then hit it twice so it knows it's done. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go back, and what that does is it makes it so no one can edit it. So now no one can edit this document but me. All right, next one. 14, scale page size to 4 pages print sheet. So right now, if I was to go to File, Print, we could get a print preview of what it's going to look like. And we have pages 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the instruction telling me to do? Scale paper size to 4 pages per sheet. So we want all of those pages. So I'm going to go back to File, Print. We want all these pages to be on one sheet. So to do so, you're going to scroll to the bottom and find page per sheet. When you click on this, it says how many pages do you want to print per sheet. I'm going to say print 4 pages per sheet. And now, when it prints, it's going to print, like you can see in this image, with 4 pages per sheet. So now that I got that set, I'm going to go ahead and hit the Pack button. And then our last step is to save as Strand 1 and submit to Canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and File, Save As, and then Browse, and then go and find my Google Drive and my Drive and my Boss and my Word, and then go ahead and save that. Once you have saved this, you are then going to go into Canvas and submit it to this page. So great, we're all done.